Okay, let's sit down. Guys, come on. Stay in the middle. Stay in the middle. Okay, Uncle Jeff is going to tell us a story.
Can you check to make sure I'm in frame? Can you check to make sure I'm in frame? What do you want me to do, Jeff? Am I in the picture?
Yeah.
Good. Children, this morning I'm going to tell you a story from the book of Daniel, from the people of God. And a story that King Darius might have told, and he might have told it this way. I am King Darius, king of the Babylonians, and I have a very large land to take care of, and a lot of people to rule over. So I have appointed a number of governors in my land to rule over it. And to rule over the governors, I have appointed 3 administrators. And one of those 3 administrators is Daniel. Now, Daniel was a very wise and capable man. As a matter of fact, I liked Daniel so much that I was going to appoint him to be the administrator over all. But you know what? The other governors and administrators didn't like that. They didn't want Daniel. I think they were envious of him. And actually, they wanted to get rid of Daniel. So they knew I would have no part in that. So they decided to trick me. Those other governors and administrators, they tricked me. They came to me and they said, "Oh, King Darius, why don't you write a law that says that during the next 30 days, anybody in our land who prays has to pray to you, King Darius, and not to anybody else, and no other god. And if they break that law, they'll be thrown into the lion's den." Well, I thought about that for a while, and I thought, that's a pretty good law now. 30 days, everybody has to pray to me, or they'll be thrown into the lion's den. And I said, yes, I'll write that law, I'll make that decree, and so I did. The law was written down, and it became the law of the land. Now, when Daniel heard this law, he ignored it. He kept right on praying to God every day, 3 times a day. But those crafty men who came to me watched Daniel to see what he was doing, and they could see from the window of his house that he was praying 3 times a day to God, thanking him. So they came back to King Darius, and they said, "Oh, King Darius, is not your law standing? Does it not still stand?" And of course I said, "Why, yes, it stands. It is the law of the land." They said, "Well, we must tell you that Daniel, who is the exile from Judah, is praying to God 3 times a day, thanking him." Well, I was upset, of course. I didn't think it was right that Daniel was breaking the law, but I didn't want to have to put him into the lion's den. And then those same crafty men reminded me, "Oh, King Darius, you know, whenever a king in this country writes a law, it cannot be changed." Oh my goodness, I was trapped now because I had to throw Daniel, whom I liked, into the lion's den. Oh my goodness. So they did. They got Daniel, and he was thrown into the lion's den. But as he was going into the lion's den, I said, oh, Daniel, I hope that your God, whom you serve continually, will save you." And then Daniel went into the lion's den, and a stone was placed over the entrance of the lion's den, and he was trapped. He was trapped. And I was so upset. That night, I went back to the palace, but I was so upset I couldn't eat. I refused all food. I sent it away. And later on that night, I tried to sleep. And you know what? I couldn't sleep. All I did was toss and turn. All I could do was worry what would become of Daniel in the lion's den. Sleep eluded me all night long. And then, at the break of dawn, at the very first light, I got up out of my bed. I put my clothing on, and I ran down to the lion's den to see the condition of Daniel, and I shouted through the stone to Daniel, "Oh, Daniel, Daniel, did your God, the one you serve continually, did he save you?" And Daniel spoke to me very calmly through the stone. I could hear him on the other side. He said, "Yes, "Oh, King Darius, my God has sent an angel down to the lion's den, and he closed the mouths of all the lions. I am not hurt. I am not scratched." And you know it was true. As soon as they moved the stone away from the door and Daniel came out of the lion's den, he did not have one scratch on him. He was safe. Well, I was very joyous. I was very happy that Daniel was okay. But then I remembered all those crafty people that had deceived me. So I, King Darius, decided that I would have all of those people and all of their families cast into the lion's den, and they would be devoured by the lions. I was very angry, so I did that, and they were all placed in the lion's den, and they were destroyed. But now I have one thing I want you to know. You must honor the God of Daniel, for the God of Daniel is a living God, and he endures and lives forever. And this is a story from the book of Daniel, chapter 6, as King Darius might have told it. Thank you, children.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle Dad. Oh, you saw that in the